Hey everybody, welcome to Rigging on Thursday with the coach. We're glad to be back again today. Jordan's back with me. I hope Jordan's doing good. He's over there smiling. Everything's good here at Big Bite Bait. We're going to talk about a couple baits today and show you a couple ways to rig things and talk a little bit about it. And Jordan, the interesting thing about it, we're going to do the battle bug today. I'm going to get to tear up some baits. It's going to be fun. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Before we get into that though, let's talk about last week's questions. We got anything hanging over that we didn't do from last week, Jordan?
Sure, I have Jolly Roger asking, do we have any finesse baits?
Oh yeah, no, most definitely, Jolly Roger. You can try our shaking squirrel, our squirrel tail. We have a small little bait called a lemon maker that's a finesse bait. We have several types of grubs, the finesse grub. You can try that. So that's just a few of the finesse baits, and not to mention, before I leave it out, we have a 4 and 6 inch finesse worm. So we do have several things that you can use as a finesse bait, no problems.
Okay, the next one I have, let's go with Owen Brown. He's wondering, during the fall, should I fish deep or topwater?
That's a good question, Owen. You know, I'm going to answer that question kind of in a crazy way. I'm going to say both. So, like normally in the fall when I target fish here at my reservoir, I use a topwater bait. I like to throw a whopper popper, a buzz bait like our buzz toad. I like to throw a walking bait of some variety, some type of spook bait. Seems that the fish in the fall, they're feeding on shad and they're ganging up on shad, and you can catch them that way. And then as the day rocks on, as the sun gets higher, I like to go out and fish on ledges and points and that type of thing, where the fish are kind of congregated up. Like right now here at our reservoir, they got the water drawn down a little bit, so it's ganging the fish up. So when you get offshore, you just do the usual things. You can throw plastic like a big Magnum shaky head or a Texas rig, or then you can throw a crankbait if you want to. So there's ways to catch them. But to answer your question, I don't have to dodge a bullet. I'll just tell you both.
Okay,
so
and just good. A real quick follow-up, then I'll let you go.
Okay, great.
Hayes Dickens just asked, what is your favorite topwater?
That's kind of a tough question. To be honest with you, we don't manufacture topwater bait here at Big Bite. So let's talk about a couple things I like to throw. I like to throw a Rico made by Labina Lures. I like to throw obviously our buzz bait, the buzz toad, and then I like to throw a whopper plopper. Definitely, those are probably the three I like to throw the most.
So which toad buzz is your favorite then?
I like the watermelon red ghost, definitely. That's the one I seem to have the best luck on. But it's not far behind the old traditional white and black. I just have always done real good on this particular lake on that color. So that's what I like. I'm kind of excited about that because we got some new colors coming out that will be here shortly. They're in our new line that I'm looking forward to trying as well.
Okay, good deal. Well, I'll let you go then.
All right, sounds good. Well, let's talk about some things that we need. One thing I want to remind everybody, in the fall, the Alabama rigs are real big bait on a lot of lakes. I know I was talking to a guy yesterday from down at Lake Seminole, and he was asking me about our pro swimmer and wanting to know, if topwater baits were starting to, if Alabama rigs were starting to happen, and I told him yes. So I just want to remind everybody, we had been out of stock on our pro swimmer. We have it back in stock now. It comes in 4 sizes, a 2.8, a 3.3, a 3.8, and a 4.8, and you have 18 colors in it now. I believe Scott told me the other day we got all the new colors run. We got that flamethrower color in this. Is something that's new that I'm kind of excited about. And on the Alabama rig, guys, that 3.8 is pretty good. And I always like to put, like I told you earlier in the year, put a different color in the middle so you could do like pearl around the outside and a flamethrower red one in the middle, something like that. So anyway, look up those the Pro Swimmer online, and don't forget when you're doing your Alabama rig thing to give that a try. It's real effective on that bait for sure, definitely. So today we're going to talk about the Battle Bug. It was developed by Mike McClellan. I wanted to get Mike on here, but he had a commitment. And he developed that bait several years back, and we've had pretty good success with it. It's a creature style bait that we have. That it's 5 inches long. It comes in 10 colors. If you buy it, you get it in a 7-pack. I think we retail it for $5.49 if I'm not mistaken. But I'd highly recommend the Battle Bug, especially to people who like to use a creature style bait. And I'll show you the Battle Bug just to talk about it. It's an elongated creature type bait. And the neat thing about it is, just in talking with Mike about it, you can do lots of different things with it. So like, I'm gonna show you ways to fish it several different ways today. But the nice thing about it, if you want to shorten it, you can do some different type of things to it. Like number one, if you want to shorten it, you can shorten the head on it. And then if you want to go tailless, you can pull the tails off and do this number. So this bait can be modified and still be effective to use several different ways. So that was one of the things that Mike pointed out the last time we did this bait on here. I thought it was pretty unique. So let's just talk about a couple rigs, Jordan. I tried to throw something together there. I thought it would work pretty good with it. My favorite way to fish the battle bug is on a Carolina rig. I like to drag it. It works really good. I don't do anything to the bait. I fish it just like it is. This particular, I got the tilapia one rigged up here, and you know it works really good on the Carolina rig. That's my favorite way to fish this particular bait. But I have fished it several other ways. Back about a year ago, I was at another lake, and I took it and put it on a football jig, and you know made a trailer out of it. Works real good. Now, in talking with that, I talked with Mike. Mike talks about fishing on a swim jig quite a bit. Personally, I haven't tried that, but he says that's pretty good. So what I did to make this bait work for me is I did pinch the head off of it before I put it on the jig, and then you know I like the tentacles on mine, but you can easily just pinch them off, and you'll get this presentation. I get tear baits up, and definitely, and then you get just basically your pig and jig tie look with some pretty big long flappers. So it looks pretty good, and it has really good action that way. So you can do it either way. So that's a nice thing about it. This bait's made to modify. I kind of like that about it. It's something a lot of our baits are not made to do. So that's kind of interesting on that end. And then the third way, I tried to get something I thought was kind of off the wall on it. And you know, you punchers, why couldn't you punch this bait? It'd be kind of a big juicy tidbit falling in there when it hit, you know. And once again, you can pinch the tentacles off of this too if you want to and make it more compact. But I just thought that might be a neat way to rig it, was to punch it and try it. And obviously you could Texas rig it around wood. I know that Mike McClellan's told me that's one of the ways he likes to fish it. And there's some other things that you could do with it. But this is just 3 things I thought we'd show today and talk about that might work pretty good with the battle bug. So anyway, battle bug's ready, available, all the major stores you get online here. So if you're interested, check into that. So we got any questions today, Jordan, on the battle bug or anything else that's coming in we can talk about?
Yeah, real quick, I have a few follow-ups.
Excuse me.
So first one I got is, what color are we looking at on the punching rig there?
All right, that punching rig is just a green pumpkin with a purple strand skirt, and I've got what's called Ozark Craw on it.
Okay.
And that's a green pumpkin base with purple and orange flake in it. It's a pretty neat looking color. I know this is a real popular color out in the Midwest. Works real good out that way, and you know, as well as it can work in other areas. But I know when Mike put that color in, that was one of the things he wanted for out there, like for Table Rock and Bull Shoals and some of those lakes that he fishes regular out there. So that's definitely what they call Ozark Craw. And just so you'll know, I had the tilapia, and this is just the old black and blue, just to give it some more answers. And the one I destroyed in the beginning was just straight green pumpkin. And we make it like in a green pumpkin money with green flake in it, green pumpkin green, and then there's like a hematoma looking color, and then the watermelon red colors as well.
Okay, I have a couple questions here from Trevor Hayes. The first one is, what size hook do you suggest for this?
I like a 5/0 big bait. I like to use a 5/0. Now I probably wouldn't use a 5/0 on my punching rig. I think this is like a 4/0 on the punching rig.
Okay.
But like anything, if I'm dragging on a Carolina rig, I'm pulling the 5/0 hook in it.
Okay, and then he has a comment.
Wide gap, Gamakatsu.
Okay, gotcha. And then Trevor also has a comment. What about using this bait on a chatterbait? That would look pretty cool.
You could probably do that. He gets away with doing it on a swim jig. I don't know why you couldn't get away with doing it on a chatterbait. I totally agree with that. You know, when I'm going to pick up a chatterbait, I'm going to put a swim on it anymore. I used to do a lot of different things with a chatterbait, but I'm pretty won over now to the swim on. Our new bait, it's just designed for that bait, and it works like it's the cat's meow when you start talking about chatterbait baits. If you missed that show, you need to go back and look at it. The day we did all the different colors, go back to the Instagram account and find that and look at it, and you'll be sold on it too after you see it.
Yep, for sure. My next one I got from Lucky Bass TV. What is one lure you never leave at the house?
Tilapia fighting frog. Not happening. 4 and 5 inch model. That's my go-to bait. Anytime that we're struggling or I need bites, I pick up that fighting frog and it'll get you some bites.
Okay, then I'll have one more question for you from State Line Marine is wondering, what are your favorite baits on a buzzbait?
Okay, favorite baits on a buzzbait. That's my buddy up there, probably Ronnie Ray at State Line. Definitely, I like to use that buzz toad on it, the tour toad. I like the buzzing toad on the buzzbait. The other thing that we offer is a suicide shad on the buzz. Now, I hadn't fished that a whole lot, to be honest with you. I kind of like that toad buzz, and I like that tour toad that we make on it, and it just works really well. I mean, now I will say if I'm throwing a toad individually, I like to throw our top toad. It works real well individually because it's heavier and you can throw it a lot further.
Okay, good deal. Well, that's all I got for you for right now.
All right, super. Sounds great. Well, we'll look forward to next week. We got a little something extra planned next week. We're going to do a little comparative analysis next week, Jordan. So anyway, we'll look forward to then, and everybody have a blessed day, and we'll see you next week.